What is going on, everybody? Sports expert here, and we're going to be doing our Week 10 NFL power rankings. So it was a crazy Week 9. It was crazy, and we have a lot of movement in the power rankings. So before we start the video, please hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Turn on the post notification bell. Hit the like button. Hitting the like button helps our videos in the algorithm, so it would mean the world to me, guys. And comment what you think about my power rankings, and that would help in the algorithm as well, and that would mean the world to me. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. So before you guys start the video, please hit that subscribe button if you're new. Would really appreciate it. Now let's get started with the power rankings. At 32, we have the Houston Texans. They are coming off a 17-9 loss on the road against the 1-7 Miami Dolphins. There's not much to say other than the Texans are complete trash right now. I mean, they're dysfunctional. David Culley doesn't know what he's doing. It's his first season as a head coach. Tyrod Taylor looked bad. They lost to a horrible Dolphins defense. I mean, that's as bad as it gets. Tyrod Taylor could have completed a pass. 3 interceptions. It was just not a very good game for the Texans at all there. At 31, we have the Detroit Lions. They came off a bye. Dan Campbell's going to have his team ready for the next week versus Pittsburgh. We'll see what they can do, maybe to get their first win. But we'll see. It'll be interesting for the Lions. At 30, the Washington football team, they are coming off a bye as well, but I put them at 30 because there's some teams that jumped over Washington because they won, and Washington has just looked sloppy, and they really have no quarterback play. Their defense has been pretty terrible. It's been a huge disappointment, so I feel like 30 is where they're best suited for now. At 29, the Miami Dolphins are coming off that win against the Houston Texans, 17-9. Texans aren't the greatest team, but that's a good win for the Dolphins, Maybe they crush them even more if Davis Mills plays, but I don't know. Tyrod Taylor played horrible football, so the Dolphins, good win for them. They didn't have Tua, but, good stuff by Jacoby Brissett and the defense to carry the Dolphins to a win there. Myles Gaskin did his job too, so good win for Miami. At 28, I have the San Francisco 49ers. They are coming off a crushing 31-17 loss at home against the Arizona Cardinals. They lost to the Cardinals without Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins, and they didn't just lose. They got destroyed. Colt McCoy went out there and played a really good game. The 49ers are really they're in trouble right now, and Kyle Shanahan's going to have to answer some questions about this team. This team just doesn't look good at all. They look lost, if anything. At 27, we have the New York Jets. The Jets are coming off a 45-30 loss on the road against the Indianapolis Colts on Thursday night. It was a fine game by them, but at the same time, without Mike White, it kind of went downhill from there. And Josh Johnson wasn't that bad, but at the same time, he really was never going to give him a chance to win just because, he had to step in there and really wasn't fully prepared. But, the Jets, they're showing some progress and everything, and that's why I have them here at 27. At 26, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are coming off a great 9-6 win over the Buffalo Bills. Defense played amazing for the Jaguars. Offense was just okay, but Trevor Lawrence seemed like he was dealing with a bit of an ankle problem, so that's whatever. But, geez, it's just not looking good for Buffalo there. But, Josh Allen, what a game he had. He really helped Jacksonville, and same with one of the most underrated defensive linemen in football, Dwayne Smoot. Good win for Urban Meyer and company. At 25, I have the Carolina Panthers. They are coming off a blowout loss against the New England Patriots, 24-6 at home. I mean, Sam Darnold is not the answer. Another 3 interceptions, including an 88-yard pick six to J.C. Jackson. Yeah, the Panthers, they're playing horrible. I mean, Matt Rule might as well leave for college again at this point. I wouldn't want to be there, Got to get a quarterback. You got to go for someone in this offseason. If they don't, then there's going to be problems over there. And he's owed $18 million next year, Darnold. 24, I have the Chicago Bears. They play Monday Night Football. They play versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Justin Fields, looked good versus the 49ers, so we'll see what happens there. But, I think Fields has all the potential in the world. Maybe he can do something against Pittsburgh and shock the world. At 23, I have the Minnesota Vikings. They are coming off a 34-31 loss in overtime against the Baltimore Ravens. Once again, Mike Zimmer loses a football game for his team. No surprise there. The Vikings would be so much better if they just fired him now. They'd win many more games. He's been holding him back like crazy.
I don't think there's much of a question about that, to be honest. But that's just me. At 22, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. They are coming off a heartbreaking loss at home against the Los Angeles Chargers after a game-winning field goal by Dustin Hopkins. The Eagles, they played a decent offensive game, but the defense just didn't show up when it needed to. So if you're going to win games, you need your defense to show up, and that didn't happen for the Eagles today. So, yeah, that's why they're at 22. At 21, it says I have the New York Giants. I don't know why I wrote Jets, but the Giants are at 21. They are coming off a 23-16 win at home against the Las Vegas Raiders. I actually picked that as my upset pick of the week, so that was a good pick. But, the Giants, they played a very good game. Daniel Jones was, he managed the game very well. And the offensive line wasn't that great for the Giants, but, Devontae Booker played a really good game, and, seems like they're really stepping it up. So the Giants are playing good football right now. They've won 2 out of the last 3. At 20, I have the Seattle Seahawks. They are coming off a bye this week, and Russell Wilson might be back next week versus Green Bay, maybe not. But Seattle at 20 seems like a fine placement for them, as they'll try to get back in the winning column next week. At 19, I have the Atlanta Falcons. They are coming off a big 25-24 win on the road against the New Orleans Saints. What a game that was. Another game-winning field goal for Young Wei Koo. And the Falcons, they actually look like a kind of a solid team, which is insanely weird. But, they are now 4-4. And Matt Ryan played a nice game. Cordell Patterson helped the Falcons win that one. Looked like they were going to choke and the Saints were going to pull off the comeback. But what a clutch play at the end there by Ryan and Patterson. At 18, I have the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are coming off a huge 30-16 win on the road against the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, what a game that was. Our defense showed up. The offense showed up enough. Teddy Bridgewater, a.k.a. Teddy Two Gloves, he played a decent game. And, he solidified himself as the starter for the next few games for sure for Denver. So, yeah, if I'm a Denver fan, I'm definitely hyped right now. And you're still in the playoff race. At 17, I have the Las Vegas Raiders. They are coming off that 23-16 loss on the road against the Giants. Derek Carr with a clean pocket versus Derek Carr under pressure is a whole different story, and they were able to pressure him all game, the Raiders. A guy like Quincy Roche and Azeez Ojulari, 2 guys they got this year in the draft and everything. Great pickups for the Giants. They helped win this game for them, and, the Giants, Xavier McKinney helped with a pick 6. Carr, he just kind of was struggling. He just wasn't in rhythm. At 16, I have the Indianapolis Colts. They are coming off a 45-30 win against the New York Jets at home on Thursday Night Football. So, yeah, the Colts, they are playing excellent football. I think they're better than their 4-5 record shows, but, they're going to have to keep winning and keep competing. So, if I'm a Colts fan, I'm definitely happy with their results, but I want more. Jonathan Taylor is basically solidifying himself as a top 3 running back in football right now. At 15, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. They are coming off a 13-7 win at home against the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love was just non-existent. Their defense was able to make an impact, especially how about Melvin Ingram making an impact in his first game with the Chiefs? That's what they needed, and, he's definitely provided them with a boost. He wanted to be there, and, he's looked good. At 14, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. They are coming off a tough 41-16 loss against the Cleveland Browns at home. Joe Burrow didn't look sharp. His offensive line was killing him. He was getting banged up. Their defense was just bad, missing tackles and everything. It was just not fun for them. At 13, I have the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are coming off a bad loss against the Atlanta Falcons, 25-24, but I'll keep them in my top 13 just because their defense and, if their receivers don't drop passes all the time, then they probably win that game. So, the Saints, in all honesty, probably should have won that game still, but, there's going to be times where you win games like that and times where you're going to lose games like that. So, that was the time the Saints lost that game. Simeon is fine, but, Sean Payton's going to have to work his way out of it. At 12, I have the Cleveland Browns. They are coming off a 41-16 win over the Bengals. Baker Mayfield looked good. He looked good without OBJ in his first game without him. Not his first game without him, but this season, obviously, since he got cut. So the Browns, and Baker Mayfield. Nick Chubb looked great with a 70-yard touchdown run. The defense looked great. Greg Newsome, Denzel Ward, the corners looked awesome. John Johnson and Troy Hill were making an impact. So, yeah, it was a great game for the Cleveland Browns all around. At 11, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are playing Monday Night Football versus the Chicago Bears at home. If they win, they have a chance to, make a case in the AFC. The Steelers will look good. It'll be interesting how they play tonight, though. At 10, I have the New England Patriots. They are coming off a 24-6 win over the Carolina Panthers on the road. Very convincing win. I know the Panthers aren't that great, but on the road to absolutely destroy them. There's a lot of potential with this Patriots team. Bill Belichick is really coaching them well, and Mac Jones is playing very well for a rookie. So the defense is showing up as well. J.C. Jackson's a great corner. At 9, I have the Buffalo Bills. They are coming off a horrible 9-6 loss at home on the road against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Sean McDermott didn't coach his best game. Josh Allen was just horrible. What a weird performance by Allen, and it cost me in fantasy too. So, the Bills, they're going to have to clean some things up. They're 5-3 now, not great for them. They've been a bit disappointing for what they should have been, but, we'll see what happens towards the end of the season. At 8, I have the Los Angeles Chargers. They are coming off a 27-24 win on the road against the Philadelphia Eagles on a game-winning kick by Dustin Hopkins. So the Chargers, that was actually Hopkins' second game-winning kick this year, both on different teams. Washington, now the Chargers. So the Chargers, Justin Herbert played a fine game. Not as amazing, but, they played a fine game. The Chargers defense stepped up in ways they needed at the end, so give credit to them. The Chargers were able to take time of possession off, and that's what helped on their offense. At 7, I have the Baltimore Ravens. They are coming off a comeback 34-31 win over the Minnesota Vikings at home. Well-coached game by John Harbaugh at the end. Lamar Jackson, made a couple good throws, but, the Ravens, they have grit. They have fight. This team doesn't give up, and that's why they're a top 7 team and, in the lead for the AFC North. At 6, I have the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are coming off a horrible 30-14 loss at home against the Denver Broncos. Maybe it was just a fluke game. Dak Prescott was injured. Maybe, but I don't know. That's what I'm thinking here. They went down from 3-6 in my power ranking. So the Cowboys, the Ravens went up from 9-7. But yeah, the Cowboys, just a horrible game all around. Drop passes, bad throws, missed coverage, tackling. Just not ideal. It's just a bad game all around. At 5, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are coming off a bye. They play Washington next week. It should be interesting there. Washington isn't that great, but maybe they can put up a fight against Tampa. But Antonio Brown's probably going to be back, and that's going to be a huge boost for Tampa. At 4, I have the Los Angeles Rams. They are coming off a crushing loss against the Tennessee Titans, 28-16 at home. Matthew Stafford didn't look good. I feel like he wasn't used right tonight, which was weird. Too many bootlegs and everything by Sean McVay. They just got dominated offensively and defensively. It just wasn't their game plan that they usually do. It just didn't work tonight. At 3, I have the Green Bay Packers. They are coming off a 13-7 loss on the road against the Kansas City Chiefs. I had the Rams at 2 in my power rankings. I had the Packers at 1, and now they're 3-4. The Packers, they had Jordan Love, but, I'm not going to criticize them too much here because they probably win with Rodgers, so, But Aaron Jones had a fine game, but other than that, it just wasn't much from the Packers. They ran the ball okay, but, At 2, I have the Tennessee Titans. They're coming off that big win at home again on the road against the Rams, 28-16. No Derrick Henry, no problem. Tannehill was able to get the job done, making some nice passes. Everyone was basically used. Jones, Brown, Peterson, Julio Jones, A.J. Brown, Jeff Swain. It was a great game. They were utilizing their weapons. Great defensive game as well. Jeffrey Simmons had a heck of a game. Danico Autry, Bud Dupree, really stepped up. Kevin Byard had a pick 6. Might be the best safety in football right now. At 1, I have the Arizona Cardinals. They are coming off a 31-17 win on the road against the 49ers without their starting quarterback and their starting receiver. I mean, this team probably is the best in football. If AJ Green turns around, this team's 9-0, and we're talking about how incredible this football team is and how far they can go in the playoffs and everything. We're still talking about that, but this team is a legitimate contender, no doubt about it. They're blowing out absolute playoff contenders and everything. It's looking good for Arizona, and Cliff Kingsbury's done a great job for this team. I appreciate everyone being here. Sports expert here. Please hit